Hey, it's me, Albert, with Two Tribes Primal Living, and I wanted to welcome you guys back to the channel. For those of you who are already subscribed and followed us on our off-grid journey, and then into the big sickness that was going around the planet at the time, we decided to take some time off. It's roughly been about 3 years, in about a month. Since we put a video out of any sort and kind of just neglected the channel, but through conversations based on knowledge of new things that have emerged in our society, in our country, Nikki and I had engaged in conversations and discussions about this channel and whether or not we should do anything further with it, and whether or not we should just you know delete it or whatever. And we came to the conclusion that we wanted to revive it. And I believe the reason we may have just gotten to the point of neglecting it was probably because of all the things that you weren't allowed to say and all the things that you weren't allowed to express, because of being shadow banned or put in a cyber corner or anything like that. So we just decided to stay out of it. I decided to stay out of it because I also wanted to observe without any kind of opinion or conclusions until it's time to make conclusions. And I believe that sometimes we come to conclusions before we should. But in essence, we're going to revive this channel. And what are we going to do with this channel? We're going to change things up the way I do it. I'm very knowledgeable and very well versed in a lot of things pertaining to nutrition, in supplementation, natural medicine, natural herbs that can either help you or hurt you. So after listening to what was being said weeks prior and into the days after the election results, there was a lot of talk about the MAHA movement, which, if you haven't heard of the MAHA movement, is the MAHA. That's the Make America Healthy Again movement that is going to be spearheaded by Bobby Kennedy Jr., who was elected or appointed by Trump as the I guess I can't remember what the health secretary. So, and I've listened to a lot of things that were said about this MAHA movement and how this MAHA movement is going to require gutting some oversight agencies, and I'm a little shocked to hear this. And the reason I'm shocked to hear this is because I know how the corporate systems work that are at play here. When you understand the corporate structures, whether it's somebody selling baby bottles or cat toys or health supplements or chicken and rice and wheat and spaghetti, whether whatever the corporation is, they pretty much operate the same. When they're publicly traded, they have shareholders, and the shareholders want their money back and then some. So as a corporation, because corporations only have a legal responsibility to their shareholders to increase profits, that's exactly what they do. So your once wholesome box of cereal is now manufactured in the cheapest production, lowest grade ingredients with food-like substance to hold it all together and make it taste like food. So in essence, the objective of any corporation is to vacuum up profits. That's the truth about corporations. And it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's got a nice, beautiful, makes you feel good logo with a nice "We're here for you" slogan. It's a corporation, and their only objective is to increase profits, which puts you in the back seat. You give these people your money for what is food. And in my studies, and I mean, if you know who said this, then you know who said it. Whose quote this is. Let the food you eat be your medicine, and the medicine be your food. And that's a very profound quote, because that is no longer valid. That quote means nothing today, because if you're going to use your food as medicine, it's probably going to mess you up really bad. You're probably going to end up with type 2 diabetes. You're probably going to end up with some form of heart disease. You're going to end up with chronic inflammation. So no, we can't use our food as medicine anymore, but food is medicine. Oh no, I said that, and the FDA is going to come after me because I said something is medicine that isn't food, that is medicine that isn't classified as a drug, because the FDA, along with the corporations, have teamed up to write regulations and make things legal and make things all good and wholesome for them, but you're left with all this chronic sickness and degenerative health and mental health issues, and your life, your quality of life is diminished in ways, and you don't know why. I mean, most nutritionists, most people who look at somebody who is unhealthy or obese or barely getting through life, who is taking care of themselves, and I can attest to this, looks at those people and says, I don't know why those people don't make a change in their life. I don't understand why those people can't change. Well, partially because it's not their fault. It really isn't, in the sense that you walk into the store and you see all the labels that are put together by specialists who understand your psychology, of the psychology of how your brain works and how colors and images and the three things that your palate craves, salts, fats, and sugars, how to concoct those things, package them up in some beautiful packaging, and sell them to you as heart healthy, and get endorsements from the American Heart Association and the American Cancer Association. And you got all these little logos on the front of the box that tell you how great it is. And then you do some studying, and then you do some digging, and you turn that box around and you read the ingredients list, and you just can't understand how this can be on the front of the box, but this is what's in the box and what's written on the box, and it's not good for you. It's not healthy for you. So after you consume all this food and you're sick from it, you get to go to our lovely medical system. And our medical system is run by the same types of corporations and the same types of regulators that allow the people to put the pretty pictures on the front of the box with all the feel-good information, but it's garbage in the box, garbage that is going to make you sick. So the medical system is based on the same regulatory systems and the same type of corporate system. So you got your food sick body and deficient in nutrients and overloaded with toxins, and you go into the medical system and you're treated with more chemicals. And I can pretty much guarantee you that you're probably not sick because you don't have enough chemicals or pharmaceuticals in your body. So you accept the doctor's orders because he's the expert. He's the authority on your health. And it's all the regulation that got us here. It's all the government oversight, agencies with oversight, and all the corporations who require profits. And we wonder why we're told we have the greatest medical system on the planet, yet we're the sickest population on the planet that spends the most money on medical care. You know, Nikki made a comment the other day, and it resonated with me well. And that resonation was the fact that we don't have healthcare workers. we have illness workers. You work in the medical industry, you're not a healthcare worker. And I'm going to say that you're not a healthcare worker because you're not helping people become healthy. You're helping people maintain their sickness, manage their sickness. We are healthcare workers. We take people who haven't done anything with their health at all, period, have allowed their health to just degenerate and become out of control, and we try to bring those people back into a state of homeostasis through small steps, just making little steps towards getting away from living a lifestyle of bad choices because of bad information that is delivered to you from bad regulations. So am I excited about the MAHA movement? Yes. More shocked than anything else, because in the 30 years that I've been listening to school boards and state regulators talk about the school lunches and how bad they are. I was driving down the road today and I heard somebody talk the radio on the news on the radio talking about another case of a school board trying to get their nutrition right for the kids at the school. You know, we went through that whole joke of an attempt with Michelle Obama and her whole dancing on the stage and basically making a mockery out of people when the food selections on the shelf are I mean, what are you going to buy? If you can only afford certain products, you're going to buy the products that you can afford. And that's where most people lie. They have a budget. They have a budget for their groceries. They can't buy all organic food. They can't buy food that is specifically eliminating sugar, that because they took the sugar out, now it costs more. You take the fat out and for some reason it costs more. But the selection that is on the popular eye-level aisle, all those foods are toxic. So when you walk in, your granny walks in to buy a box of crackers, is she going to buy the organic crackers that cost $4 more, or is she going to buy the cheap saltine crackers that have been highly processed? I mean, just the farming practices from where the wheat comes from for those crackers is regulated by our government and regulated by the FDA and the USDA, but yet it is the most toxic food-like substance that you could put into your body because it's destroying you. So that is the passion that I bring to this channel. That is the level of understanding that I bring to this channel, is that most people weren't even given a fighting chance to protect themselves health-wise, just based on the selection that they get at the grocery store because of regulation and oversight that is supposed to be there for us, making sure that your dollars are going towards good, nutritious foods. Now, if you want to eat the garbage on the side, that's up to you. But because you're eating garbage up front, main meal garbage, and then snack garbage, and then in between meal and snack garbage, the body becomes garbage, the dumping ground. And without understanding how this stuff works, you really don't ever have a way of getting out of that rut. The medical system will keep you in there. The food industry will keep you there. The TV, the entertainment industry will keep you there even more, because they'll validate what these policy oversight agencies are supposed to be protecting your health, and the corporations, regulating the corporations from doing stuff like that, but they don't. So we're left with very, very well-fed people who are very, very malnourished. Excesses and deficiencies are what create disease. Disease means the body is not at ease. There's something wrong. Inflammation is one of the chronic things that we see, and it's chronic inflammation. And diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is something that we see quite often. Hypertension, high blood pressure, and heart disease. I mean, these are all things that are preventable through food. If you were eating actual food, if you were provided actual food for the dollars that you're giving these people for food. So I'm going to wrap it up there. As far as the opinion goes, but you're going to see some differences in the content that we put out. Nikki and I are going to put out content as individuals, and there'll be times that we come together and put information out together. But we're going to start revamping this channel just to follow and, I don't know, somehow keep accountable the MAHA movement and see whether they're doing what they say they're going to do, because I mean, this if you really understand how deep those roots of corruption run in the food and pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry, insurance, and all the complexities of those industries, that's a hell of a battle. That's a war. There's a lot of tentacles and a lot of reach there, and it goes deep, and I want to see how this all turns out. But you don't have to wait for that. You really don't have to wait for that. You can make all these decisions all on your own. You can decide to stop reading the front of the box and being enticed by the picture on the box and actually turn the box around, because just like anything, and I'll use this as an example of the guys that I'm talking about who regulate and supply us with our food supply. They're I mean, the corporations are in control of our food supply. The government is in control of our food supply. So we have to trust them for clean food, nutritious food. And they haven't been delivering that to us for a very, very long time. And a lot of people don't know that. They really don't know that. So, but Nikki comes at things from a different, very, very calm and ladylike way, where me, I'm more, I mean, I am who I am, and I don't hide who I am, because I understand what I understand. You know, Nikki and I have very different views when it comes to nutrition for ourselves, because that's the way it should be. We shouldn't all be eating the same food, especially if we're not the same age and not the same gender, not of the same nationalities. There's things that we need to be aware of just because we are who we are, and we're not taught these things. We're pretty much batched together under one diet requirement for all of us, and that diet requirement is apparently a little bit of food and a lot of chemicals. So those changes are coming, where Nikki is going to be addressing a lot of the things that I'm going to be addressing. I'm more along the lines of those who are more of the masculine, I need the truth type shit. I need to know why people are so sick and why these people are treating us and giving us poor choices by design, so people can get richer while other people get sicker. So you'll see the differences in that. She's a lot prettier than I am, so y'all might watch the videos just for that. But we are going to follow this MAHA movement, and we're going to you know, try to put out as much information as we can nutritionally. We are not the type of people that stay the same for very long, and what I mean by that is we're not confused as who we are, but because who we are constantly evolving to the next level, and whatever that level may be for us as success may not be the same level that you would call success. So we are very different in that way, and we intend to stay that way. You know, I always like to hear the understanding of authorities, people who know their shit, people who know what they are talking about, are authorities on those subjects, whether they hold a diploma, a certification, a PhD, whatever. If you are an authority on it, and you have all those certifications and your house burns down, or somebody comes in there and steals them all, are you still an authority on it because your paper and your credentials are gone, or is it because it's all up here and you just know it, and you know it well, and you don't know it from a biased source? So when you look at things from all angles, it's kind of easy to come to conclusions, but when you're just looking at things from a very one-dimensional point of view, it's easy to get stuck there. It's really easy to get stuck there, and we kind of want to help break you guys free from that. So I'm going to finish rambling with this initial video. Nikki's going to put out a video after this one so that she can address those people who wish to follow her over me, but it doesn't matter because we are a unit. Nikki and I are one single unit, and this is a joint effort coming at it from two perspectives, very different but yet very similar perspectives. So we're just going to leave. I'm going to leave it there, and we're going to set out some more videos here in the near future. One of the things I want to remind you guys is something that I have to remind myself, is that we are guided, we are protected, and we will fulfill our intended purpose. So you guys take care, and we'll see you on the next video.